Welcome to Unity Through Diversity. I am your host, Gina Anayana. Unity Through Diversity is a podcast where we acknowledge and celebrate individuals' unique soul gifts through each guest's personal story in order to empower and encourage you to recognize and reclaim the uniqueness in your own soul frequencies. So we, as a collective, can truly embrace unity through diversity in our life. Enjoy the podcast. Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of Unity Through Diversity. And today I have this beautiful soul right here, and this is our first time, right, to come here to sit down and have a podcast episode things about community and about a lot of things being service and how to support each other. So welcome Ayre Smith, right? And I'm going to let you to introduce yourself because you wear different hats. And in this 3D world, it's like how we know somebody is through their hats, but we are not defined by those hats. So tell us a little bit about it, your name, I just mentioned, but what do you do and where you're from, and something that you want to share on your heart right now. Let's start from there.
Okay. Well, my name is Ayre Smith, like Gina mentioned. I am a real estate agent at Rhinehart Bay REALTORS here in Bay City, Michigan. And I am also the sitting chair of the Minority Business Partnership with the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm also the PR committee chair of the Realtor Association, the Bay County Realtor Association. And
Missing one.
Which one?
The chairman of a Minority Business Partnership.
No, I did say that one.
You said that?
Yeah, so I'm a chamber ambassador as well, and I sit on the chamber board as well.
Okay, that's beautiful, because that's also my question come from is how many years you been in the realtor? Like
over 5.5 years now, so I'm going into my 6th year.
6 years. So, and when was the time you joined Chamber of Commerce being?
I joined
involved?
the Chamber of Commerce, shortly after I got into the business. I bounced around to a couple of different companies, but it was, once I landed at Rhinehart Bay that, I really got the chance to, get into the chamber and where I felt comfortable.
Yes. For myself, if you guys don't know, that I just joined the Chamber of Commerce. That's how I actually met you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was only 2 or 3 months ago. And then the purpose of our podcast today is because we are from the same community here. Are you from here?
Yes.
You born and raised here?
Born and raised in Bay City. Yeah.
So you know better this place than me, because I just moved here a year and a half ago, probably like roughly there. So like Bay City is a very unique, special place.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
And then now, since you are born and raised here, I would like you to, through the memory, to see like what are some things just shifted. Like when I moved here, I literally opened the options to universe. I was like, okay, Bay City, Saginaw, and Midland. And somehow universe schooled me and landed me here in this beautiful community. And I'm still in the process of learning different aspects of Bay City, and then try to find a spot for me to better step into serve the community. And that's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. But from your perspective, right, since you're born and raised here, in the last couple of decades, not say how old we are, but we've been witness, right? The Bay City is like Saginaw, go up and down, up and down. So in your perspective, in your memory, like what was going on, what is going on, what are some changes in Bay City?
Well, there's been a lot of changes. First and foremost, the diversity now is being on the forefront. Seeing a lot more minority businesses present, and just more taking that platform, and
Okay, so do you have realize a time frame? Because I feel like Bay City right now, not say putting Saginaw or Midland, we all very just like diversified community, right? As we call the Tri-City area. However, Bay City somehow, like from how I tap into energy, I feel like Bay City play a very important role of leading this minority business. Like And I think maybe you can also walk us through when you started this minority business partnership.
Yeah.
Maybe you accept a calling that time. Will you tell us a little bit more of in what kind of circumstance you like, okay, I'm gonna start this minority business partnership because there's something has to happen, right?
Yeah.
Something happened, you're like, okay, there's something need to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, kind of around the time when you started your podcast, in 2020, during the pandemic and everything, when we were kind of shut down and things like that. And, there were actually people that reached out to the chamber that, asked for, a list of minority businesses that were here locally that they could support. A lot of people were, supporting local businesses and things of that nature. Yeah. And there were a lot of different initiatives to help businesses, and I think a lot of the minority businesses may have got looked over at that time just because they might not have been connected, they didn't know where to connect, different things like that. And that's part of the reason why we're doing the minority business partnership, is to connect these businesses and entrepreneurs to information and things like that.
Yeah. Because I also just joined the minority business partnership because, a lot of some numbers that we actually mentioned the other day in the meeting. 98% of the
98% of minority businesses don't have a single employee. So that's a lot of us that are out on our own islands and trying to figure things out on our own, and it gets tough. So why not come together and share the information and knowledge that we have, and try to help each other along the way.
Yeah, so when back in 2020 when you started this minority business partnership, is like now it's 2 years, right?
Yes.
It's like, will you give us a little bit run through? Is like how many members right now, and what kind of engagement we have, interaction with each other? Because like as myself, I'm a new member, and I still try to understand this organization and to see how can I support, but also like how to connect with each other. Like you said, that's a trait, because since we do not have any employee, like myself, right? I have people. Sometime I will like not say part time, but for some my like project, I will have photographer from somewhere, and for my event, some volunteers, or that's based on project based. So I don't have any just like even for the podcast, I added by myself, try my best. So when you are like engaging with those entrepreneurs, they are very independent. They basically figure everything out by themselves. It's like how can we? You want them to come here to interact. There are certain value or certain things they need to see for them to even engage in, right? That makes sense, right? If it's like you are very independent, you don't really need anything unless something better their business, better where they at, right? So what are some like engagement or the interaction things that already because you've been on this position for 2 years? Some are like events, or some events in the future that you are.
So we've had a few different webinars where we've shared information on like grants through like ARPA funds that were like available and things like that for local businesses, and 30% of that money that was allocated went to minority businesses, and probably even a little bit more. So, that's good. We've done an expungement fair where, we shared information to help people to get felonies expunged off of their records, so that, they can, get better jobs and, things like that. And, we're looking to do more luncheons and, provide information for entrepreneurs, whatever information that we need as a group, so like about taxes and different things like that. So a lot of times like new businesses might not know how to, structure their business starting out, or, how to, do their taxes. And, we like to provide information like that.
Yes, because I think there's one webinar or seminar is coming up. It's when we will be like that one, one coming up? I don't think I will be here. What is that one coming up for the?
That is the Energize.
Oh, Energize.
Yes.
But those minority business, right? And Energize is like the, how to say that? The babies of a chamber of commerce.
Yes,
So they share
yes.
the resources.
For sure.
That's something I just understood. I guess is just like a lot of the connections are you can use, right, or you can reach those resources through Bay Chamber of Commerce. It's
Yeah.
like your parent,
Yeah.
right? Your parents and your brother is energized. So you guys are. It might be different people, but you can see the people just cross, right, the
Exactly.
area.
So that's what it's about. Just they're gonna attract different professionals, and that way we can kind of all network and grow together.
Yes, beautiful. So that part we touch base on, and the next part I want to talk about a little bit of this Maplewood project.
Yeah.
That I heard a couple times, and I just googled it because I don't know where's the location, and I actually googled the location. I don't even notice that's a park there, to be honest.
Okay.
And but I, several meetings we brought up this project, and I think is there something that we want to, or I want to, for the audience who's listening to Unity through Diversity, because in the community, right, we might pay attention to some part of the city, everybody knows that.
Right.
And but some parts of the city, like the place we went last night, some restaurant, bars, I never even knew they are there.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, interesting, there's a place there. So this park to me, so it's kind of a hidden spot to me because I just moved here, right? And a lot of people are in the area, they usually go to the park next to the water, they go to certain places. And this project, obviously, maybe you can brief us a little bit, where does this project come from and how you get involved at the first place?
Okay, so Maplewood Park is, in Baytown, kind of behind Baytown on First Street, in between. So Baytown is right in between 3rd and First Street, and Baytown. I mean, the Maplewood Park is right behind there. So I kind of got involved with the project like around 2020 when coronavirus, kind of had everything shut down. I actually saw a good friend of mine, James Dawkins, that runs a basketball program here. He was out there training, some youth.
Yes.
And, I just saw the condition of the courts with the canyon-sized cracks in it and weeds coming out of there. And I was like, we need to do something to kind of clean that park up to make it a little bit more safe and things like that. I grew up playing basketball in that park. A lot of friends and family that I know grew up playing basketball there. A lot of memories. So I definitely want to do something to help to bring it up, for the kids' safety. So I first initially reached out to Jesse Dockett, the first ward commissioner, and he got me connected with Dana Muscat, the city manager, who got me connected with Tim Batu, the Parks Department manager. So at that time, Ryan Tarrant was the president of the chamber, and he knew about another project that was supposed to be going on there, and that was with Basic Soccer. Yes. So he made the introduction with myself and Rob Clark and said that we should, partner up on this. So, we teamed up. We met at the park with Tim and kind of went over some things and said that this would be a great partnership. Yes. And, instead of, fighting each other for the same dollars to, improve the same area, why not, team up?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like going up the ladder and just right timing, and that's how the project come together.
It's really interesting. Before the podcast recording, we were talking about support in the community. Yes. And you literally just walk us through how you introduce from just one person, connect with another person, and now instead of separate project, right, become a big project so everybody can contribute into this one project.
Yes.
but it's very interesting is like how can we support each other in the community and connect one with another. That's very, even for my personal experience, is like when I came here, I don't know anybody. And I just went to one place.
Yeah.
And this lady got me connected to another lady or whatever. And a couple months later, you're just like, wow, you just know big amount of people that in the same, not same industry, I would say, but we are interested in maybe something, right? Something that is in common. And to a certain point, and I started as one of the group to, gather people around because we have same vision, want to serve the community in this alternative healing.
Yeah.
And for this project, and I think the big thing come up is like community support. Like people are generally they want to open their heart to support you, help you, right? It's very special. So for this project, so where we are right now, and or what is the timeline, and also what are something in the community maybe you can shout out, like say, hey, this is what kind of support we still need, because a lot of people I don't understand. Now I know where the project come from. Now where's project at and how we can support, right?
Okay, so the goal is to originally it was about a $500,000 project to complete, redo the basketball courts, resurface those, resurface the area for the mini pitch soccers, the mini pitch soccer goals themselves, new basketball hoops, and just a lot of other things to improve that area. And we have several $100,000, not 700,000, but several $100,000 raised. And we're still in the fundraising process. We're still in the grant writing process right now, and we're hoping to break ground in early spring. And we've got the fences tore down and things like that. We didn't want to start on the concrete and then have that just sit over the winter time. So yeah.
So still in the fundraising process. So myself personally, I would say I'm not so familiar with this fundraising process. So if for the people, let's say, people like me, people like they might own their little business, or people just generally like interested, like let's say they have their memory, right? Like you said, you had a memory in that park, play basketball, and all those citizens in the Bay City, what kind of event or what kind of this, where they go if they want to support this project, right? Like,
Right.
Is there any person to reach out, or is there any some sort of this fundraising process? What kind of things that people can just like, hey?
So like I said, we've been in the grant writing process since the beginning.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to contribute to the project, they can reach out to myself, Rob Clark, or Trey at the Chamber. Yeah.
So they can just donate, or just like, hey, this is fund I want towards the project, or what?
Yes, anyone can donate. We'll be looking for in-kind donations. When we get to that point in the project.
Yes.
There's already been quite a bit of support from the project. Starting back when I think it was the 2020 annual meeting. We had a silent auction. Then there were a lot of business that donated silent auction items to help us raise like right around $3,000 at that annual meeting.
Yeah.
So we were gifted $1,000 here and there from different people in the community. So we've got tremendous amount of support already. The pedal trolley that we rode on last night, that was donated from Sunrise Pedal Trolley.
Okay.
And the gift certificates that we had from G's and where else did we go? Washington Street Park.
We went to so many different places.
Chet's Bar, Jake's Corner Lounge. Just even any small way that you guys can support. So.
Yeah, let's shout out to everybody in the Tri-City area, right? Because like we're talking about community all connected. Is we are separate, but we all connected in one way or another way, and there's no greater, like if you have extra, you can donate it like 10,000 But if you have just a little bit is something, right?
Yeah.
You think about it, the population in Bay City is what, 33,000 maybe?
Yeah.
I actually Googled it somehow. I was like, I just want to see what's the population in Bay City, Saginaw, and Midland. And I think it's 33,000, something like that. If you think about it, if everybody donated $1,
Right.
you probably have, you're right, you have $33,000 right there. So do not think it's like too small. Oh, what am my $5 gonna do? Oh, that's a lot, because if you have half of the population, let's say 33, let's say 16,000, $5 is 100, almost 100,000.
Yeah.
That's right there. So your $5 matters, and this facility in the Bay City gonna help. Actually gonna improve a lot of people play sports in the area, because like when you walk me through, in 2020 you see the weeds grow out of things. It make me feel like, some movie I watched before as like this place is left out, nobody take care, right? And safety for the kids, our next generation, and we are talking about how to keep the population constantly grow. Right. And I think one of the meeting I went to, I don't know even which one, maybe chamber. We're talking about that in like the next 20 years, the population going to decrease in the area.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Right? So how can it keep the young generation in the area and offer this opportunity, and also make people feel like this is not just for living, but also working environment, and a lot of opportunity for them to show their talents and gift. And that's leaded to another part of it I want to talk about is like how you see yourself being service in this community. Because like we mentioned many times, it's like you are in the realtor industry. Even though I don't really know much, but I kind of know a little bit of, especially housing prices for the last 2-3 years, it's going crazy. This house is like, I had to put, how you say, you need to put more than they ask for price to get this place. But my question is like how you see yourself being service in the community. I mean, you are involved in different organizations, which is beautiful, but personally, like there's something driven inside of you, right?
Yeah.
Then what is that?
Well, I feel that there are a lot of voids that need to be filled. And somebody has to do it, and I'm hoping that I can inspire other individuals to kind of step up and help to fill some of these voids as well.
So what are some challenges ever since it's not all rainbow and sunshine, I know it.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, even recruiting people for the Minority Business Partnership, getting businesses to join to see the value and things like that. It's been tough. But thank you to Dow that provided a grant to us to be able to help 25 minority businesses or women-owned and veteran-owned businesses to become chamber members in June.
And then I'm actually one of them. When Brew reached out, I was like, what? Joining what? And I was kind of hesitate a little bit because I had a little episode with CMICU or somewhere in Saginaw, so I was like, maybe not. But yeah, thanks though. And otherwise I would not have the connection with you guys, right? And let's talk about challenge a little bit, because minority business, I think we do not really talk about, because those topics are very sensitive. As we're talking about, now what's going on. I don't really watch news, but I know the women in Iran, right? Like we are talking about this minority group, how we used to look at this group of people, and how as myself, right? I'm minority business owner, entrepreneur, however, I'm mother, I'm Asian, I'm a minority of a minority, United States, guess. And a lot of time, I think we do not really talk enough about this group of people, and people with color, however you want to categorize that. And that's, like for me, my philosophy is like, I'm not afraid to talk about it, since that people don't really talk about it, because I'm talking about things from my heart. I'm not trying to say, it's unfair. Well, the fairness, whatever, you need to stand up to say something. So you earn your spot on this table, right?
Yep.
Instead of like, yeah, let me just play around it, on the, actually in our culture, in Chinese culture, that's something very interesting. Like when we were young, the kids will have kids table when we have family like gathering. You're not supposed to sit with bunch of your,
Yep, I'm familiar with that.
right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing is now, actually, I see the changes even in the daily life. Now we want to have kids to sit with us
Right.
as a family instead of like, okay, let's put a mini table there. Like I think we are unconsciously doing that. We were, maybe our parents, whatever. But now we are consciously invite this young generation, the kids, to be part. That's exactly where we at right now. This minority business before, it's just like kids. It's like, you guys not important. Well, you guys important, but not as
Right.
important as us. But now we are inviting the minority business, inviting the kids to on the table. I think it's a shift. It's a change. And how to anchor that part of energy is we got to stand up, not say, hey, but we want to show the appreciation. And also, what are we going through? Like kids, right? Instead of just invite the table, they're like, hey, how's your day? Let's have a real conversation. How can I support you?
Right.
Because obviously we see there, sometimes people are struggle. Of course, everybody struggle. Like every entrepreneur, doesn't matter you have a 500 people, size of company or 5 people or just one person. We all struggle different things, right? How can we on the table, let's see collectively as a family,
Right.
as a community, say, what are something you are going through? And, sometimes kids, they will not going to talk about because they are afraid what they say is not being important, right? Or we've been ignore this child, their needs for so long.
Yeah.
So when you ask them, they might not gonna say. I feel like that's the challenge in our community right now. Is like when they are so on their own. When you say, "Hey, come to this family, have a family reunion with us," they are questioning, like, "What you want from me?
Right.
Like you haven't to take care of me, or you haven't, wanting me on this table for so long. What you want from me?" So you have this defense mechanism there, just like a child, right? So a lot of time I feel like, what is my position in this community that people would say, you're not even from here. But the funny part is I've been here for 12 years. And in my hometown, like my hometown, I was there for 15 years before I moved to different city. And I was joking the other day to my friend, I was like, wow, in 3 years, Michigan, just Tri-City area, gonna be my home because they're gonna be more than I stayed in my hometown. So I want to support people, but I also want to know how to support. Maybe that's why we are talking about here, because you are born and raised here. You actually probably see more of the things I feel like, because I relate to things in different way. And then what are some things that you kind of want to share with these minority business owners, because like the scenario we talk about, right? We want to invite them, like what are some ways that maybe even have more patience, to invite them to certain things, but also what are some things that we could do to make them feel like we are really there to take care of them or connect with one and another, and to create an opportunity. I don't have an answer. Maybe we can talk about it.
Well, I mean, the goal is just to learn and grow together and support one another and be visible, be seen. So, that way we can inspire the next generation of young entrepreneurs and, kind of keep that going for the future.
Be visible. So is there any, those events, or because you mentioned young entrepreneur or young generation, because part of my vision, I would say, is support a young entrepreneur. Actually, I'm in the process of connecting with lawyer to, put the United We Go as a nonprofit organization, because that will allow me to more freely and openly to step into the supporting young entrepreneur. Because obviously I have 2 girls, you have a couple kids, right? They are the next wave. How can we show up in the community? What kind of playground playground we can create for them to step in. Is there something on your end that for young generation that you've been involved in the community right now?
Well, I'm always open to, mentorship, any like young entrepreneurs that, reach out to me, even like behind the scenes that might not necessarily be interested in, the minority business partnership just yet because they haven't gotten themselves to a point to where they are, ready to launch yet. But, I share any advice and information that I've learned along the way because I know how it is to, be on your own and figure out things on your own.
Yes, I think that we are planting seed, right? To let them know that somebody you can reach out, and that's exactly probably, I collaborated with 17 years old. One of the girls, she's like, I've been collaborating with her for last 4 times, and I can see her, like feel a little bit more comfortable every time. Before she's kind of more of a like, okay, I'm here, whatever you want me to do, I will do it. Or I would say, hey, do whatever you want to do and I will take care of the rest. To the point of when we were in the United We Go event, actually she has her own tent.
Yeah.
And she's not only just do the face painting, but she also brought her own art. And she sold her art and she can't believe that and people want her art. So I was like, a lot of time that we are the person so judge ourselves, think whatever we create is worthless.
Yeah.
But when you put it out there, actually people buy, you're like, wow, you like my artwork? You think about to the 17 years old girl. It's how empowering to inspiring us. Oh, actually people like it. Confidence level will be, grow. And I know that I don't know how can I support her better in next event or something like that, but I noticed that through the last 5-6 months of collaboration a couple times, I can tell her confidence level is grown, tremendously. Maybe eventually she wants to start some LLC, which is not hard at all, right? Like funds process wise, but the confidence wise is something actually I focus on.
Yeah, right? and confidence is a big thing, because you have to take that first step and you have to have faith to take that first step. And, you have to be confident that, there's, when you step out, that there's going to be something there to hold you, to catch you, and that's tough, so, what does it take to, take that first step? Sometimes people just need a little bit of encouragement. Sometimes people might just need somebody, somebody to know that they're there to help.
Yes.
And, and that's what I try to be. And that's what the Minority Business Partnership is, about, helping that new entrepreneur, that person in business that's been struggling to, like I say, invite them to the table and say, how can we help you with the information that we already know? And everybody has some type of value to provide. Even if you haven't been successful, you can share in what ways that you haven't been successful to help the next person to avoid, going down that same road.
Yes, the mistake is also lessons, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of time we went through what we went through. So when you share, so people can make the time a little bit shorter, right? If we took us 3 years to get there, maybe it only take a year and a half. That's also healing works as well. It's like if I went through what I went through, I figured out, then I can share that other people might gonna have a better understanding of with their situations. They don't have to go through the same lessons there. They can learn something else.
Exactly.
Right?
Just kind of like how we do for our kids. We don't want our kids to go through the same things that we did. We want to provide better, make it, easier, kind of streamline things for them. So,
Yeah, a lot of things like we can use parenting to talk about that. And however, sometimes we have to watch our kids learn the lesson, even though, you probably had this. My parents, I think when I was young, they want me to do something that they figured out. But somehow, because I never went through, but they want me to skip that part. When I don't see myself skip it, does it make sense? It's like some lessons, as a parent, we know that if your 2 years old wears that pair of high heels to go on walk, she's gonna fall. And then that's a real story.
Yeah.
So my 2 years old, my older one, when she's 2 years old, she want to go out for a walk and she want to put those high heels, like princess, I think Frozen or whatever that. And I try to explain to her that you're gonna fall because I already see it. She won't listen. Like I was so frustrated, and to the point I realized that she needed to learn this lesson by herself. However, the thing we could do as also the young entrepreneur is like we can share our experience, but if they decide to, that's the thing they want to go through, that's their lesson. And I literally had to watch my daughter go out there. 5 minutes she fell 2 times. And then she got it. She's like, next time she will not wear that pair of shoes. But it took me literally 2 days, no joking. I was get so frustrated, and then what it brought to my awareness is I had this parenting book or something like that. And it called it like, do not kill that lesson.
Yeah.
And I was like, that time I was okay, the worst scenario is she gonna fall, and she did, but I'm next to her. Instead of blame her, say, I told you so.
Yeah.
Because I already said it ahead, I would say, hey babe, I'm just gonna let you know that you're potentially gonna fall. But if you really want to choose to go, let's go.
Yeah.
So when she literally fell, and then she came back, and then she learns the lesson in her own way, and then she will not wear the pair of shoes. Literally, she knows. But the thing is, point here is, sometimes we went through, right, a lot of things, people told us so, but we did not have that experience. But the point is, like, by being around them, not judging when they fall, like it's these small lessons, they failed, but they learned something.
Exactly.
And then also, if we talk about how to parent our kids, instead of how we take care of this, like baby, not say baby as, because we are growing, right? We try to figure out our own way. Is how can we hold a space and allow them to go through those small lessons instead of you know, like some lessons, if we don't allow our kids to go through, when they go to the teenager to their young 20s, it would be cost too much.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like sometimes it's hard to watch somebody to go through their lessons as parents. However, we also know that that's the process they gonna go through, because if they don't learn the lesson, universe is gonna double down.
Exactly.
And we've been through, right, some double down, triple down lessons, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So talking about the lessons, what are something personally, you are feeling that's something you're learning? Because we're always constant learning. Yeah. Right.
So right now, learning to cope with stress a little bit better, to be able to, be more productive and things like that.
I think you're very productive. From what I know, how many hours you sleep. I think you are very productive. Yeah. And also, I think, I feel like that's something that you just, what kind of certificate you just got, actually?
I didn't get any certificates just recently, but what you seen, I just posted that license to sell life insurance.
Life insurance. So, will you share a little bit more about on this, like self-development, like something that I'm really also care about, because I understand that we are in a constantly learning process, right? Yeah. And how we can be a better version of ourselves, or how can we support other people, is because we need constantly learning certain like knowledge or going to certain lessons. So will you talk a little bit more about your perspective on the self-development, and what are the things you get yourself into that you're like, hey, I feel like I'm picking up those tools or knowledge, wisdom, because I feel called to?
Well, I think that I kind of started like a little late, and I have a lot of catching up to do, so that's why I try to learn as much as I can. I try to surround myself with people that I can learn from, and sometimes you just have to like learn yourself. It takes a long time to learn yourself, but you have to be conscious about it. When I graduated from school, I kind of just shut my brain off. I wasn't, trying to learn anything new, just kind of just, skating through life, and after a while, you get tired of skating through life, and you look back, you're like, you know, I wasted a lot of time, and that's where I was at, and now it's like, I got to catch up.
That's why he was only sleeping 3 hours.
I have so much to learn, you know, and so much to figure out, and you know, I do it so that I can pass that information down to my kids. You know, I'm always trying to learn, and you know, everything that I learn, I want to pass down to my kids. But like you say, they don't always take that, you know, and they take their own path, you know. But you know, you still always try to instill that in them, you know, as early as possible, and you know, hopefully they, you know, gravitate to it at some point in time in their life and come back to us and say, hey, you know, Dad was right.
Well, sometimes the kids, you know, you would know when we were young, a lot of things our parents do, we don't really think at that time as how valuable, because it's very natural. They've been doing that thing ever since you can remember. That's part of their life. Like whatever healing work I do, my girls, they don't think that's something because they see me doing that, and I also work with them, so they will do the same some things that I do, but they do not associate as, oh, this is that, this is that.
Right.
To them, it's already in the package. Like they already like embody that. Maybe they do not really say appreciate or, hey, I learned this from you later in their life. Because now later in our life, when we look back, I would say 70% of things you probably pick up from your parents. Doesn't matter it's positive or negative. You inherited a lot of things in your genes, because when your parents master certain skills or talents, it's automatically you also pick it up.
Right.
Doesn't matter you actually doing it or not, but somehow when you're ready to pick that up, you're like, why I feel so natural to pick up those things. Like the knowledge you have, your kids already have it. It's energetically they already inherited. So when we're working on ourselves, we energetically, your family, your friends close to you, they are already also interact with this energy, but they don't really show because energy wise you don't see it, right? But how it shows is maybe years later they're like, Uncle Ali, you know, one time you did this thing or say something, and you're like, you probably already forgot it, but to them it's something already, the seed already planted. And that's a lot of time I was like, maybe, you know, how you show up, right? The public image show up, you are actually plant the seed. You don't know what seed you're planting because everybody takes different seeds.
Exactly.
Right? But it doesn't grow at that time. Maybe 10 years later, maybe you get retired. And people come to you, it's like, hey, when I was 15, I saw you at somewhere you spoke, and then you dressed up, how the energy, whatever, I'm just looking up to you, like I always have you in my mind. And you see this young man standing in front of you, you're gonna cry. Right? So what I want to say is a lot of things you think is so small. Small right now, but it has a ripple effect. Yeah,
I mean, you know, what I do is, you know, to be an example for my children, and you know, anybody else that, you know, benefits from that is, you know, just a byproduct of that, you know. But everything I do is for my children.
Yes. Now, when we talk about our parents, children, young generation, now I have a word or a phrase called a conscious community. Have you ever heard about this?
No.
Okay, I think, you know, the craziest part is a lot of us are actually creating or already be part of this conscious community, but nobody really brings this concept into the community. But you are already doing that. You are very conscious, aware, your impact, the work you do, and you sharpen your own tools, right? You keep putting knowledge, wisdom into your own this package, but you are part of this figure or image or this anchor point. I always use an anchor point, like for the spider web, right? When you build the spider web, it has the points. If one point it's fell off, you know, the spider web will not be complete. But a lot of time we do not know that we are this dot. And we think we are doing the separate thing. Until the web is complete, you understand that you are part of this big picture. And that's something I've been probably in the community. From my work, I shared this conscious community for a while now. That's my vision. And however, the awareness shifted. I saw that the conscious community needed to be something separate from the community we are living right now. Until a couple weeks or a couple months ago, I realized, oh no, Gina, you got not say all wrong. You got a different version of understanding of conscious community. You and me and a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters, we are the part of the conscious community, and the conscious community is not elsewhere. It's here. It's just like when people talk about a heaven on earth. Some people live in 3D world, they are living in hell. But somebody that's still in this 3D world, they live in heaven. So heaven and hell is not a physical space, it's a vibration. And that got me to understand that the conscious community is around us. And we are dabbing into the different aspect of the vibration wise, like that's leaded to the understanding of the question is like how you see yourself dab into all different kinds of territory of this 3D world. 3D, like you be doing your realtor business and dab into, Chamber of Commerce more of, I don't know, like how you not say government, but you also, right? City, those things is more government, and also your own business, maybe even dabbing into a little bit of practice something else. Like how you see yourself, like, or how can we bring the awareness to other people, say, hey, it's okay to dab into different, like how you see this, because a lot of people are confused, and we talked about it a bit earlier, right? Like why?
Well, there's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income, multiple ways to earn income. There's nothing wrong with learning different industries, because there's a lot of knowledge that comes with learning different industries. And like I say, I'm just trying to learn and get as much knowledge as I can. Whether if it's real estate and investing, or financial, to where I can teach my kids about credit and how to build and how to leverage assets and things like that.
It's more of a different tools in your tool bag.
Exactly.
And however we can like pass on. Okay, I have some fun questions. How many kids do you have? 5?
Yes.
How does it describe you? If you use 3 words to describe you, what do they say about you?
Authenticity, loyalty, integrity.
Well, that's come pretty quick. Well, that's always interesting, because maybe I need to ask my kids about how they describe me. So you have 5 kids, right? And that's image, probably not image that we are showing for our kids. So how would you say about yourself? Will it be a little bit different from they see you, or you see yourself?
Well, I mean, they've watched me grow as I've watched them grow. They've seen me in different stages in my life as I've seen them in different stages in their life,
Yes.
And how you're proud of their growth. I'm sure they're, very proud of my growth as well. They've seen me at my lowest, and they see me at my highest, so.
Well, you have 5 kids. My question is how you balance the life, the family life. I have 2.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be a lot too, especially your workload, right? Depends on where you're at in your life. So how you balance the work life and also a lot of social events, because like we said, you gotta show up. And you also not just show up as the way that you want, not say putting, but the certain image you want to deliver to the community. So how you balance those different aspects of your life. A lot of people are struggling.
Yeah. I mean, it is tough to, that work-life balance, I ask my kids sometimes, hey, is your dad doing enough? Is there anything that your dad, can do better? I try to incorporate them into things that I do, to events that I go to, and so that they can learn and see firsthand some of the things that I do, and like I said, just learn together.
I think that's a good idea. Like I do see a lot of pictures, not a lot of pictures, some posts you have your kids involved, and it's like my dad when I was little, I think I asked him to take me to the business dinner or meetings, and I had no idea. I sat through the whole thing, though. I was like maybe 7, 8, and he would take me to the business dinner. I'm just sitting there, just watching them talking. And when I look back right now, I was like, whoa, that's actually requires a lot of patience. Even though you see me, probably jumping around like that, my energy just like, goes like that. But I was like, wow, I didn't know what I was learning, but later I understand that a lot of things that I'm probably learning, like listening, but that actually helped me to how to understand the business world in China, like a lot of like table culture or like drinking culture, not like whatever they, but business wise is based on the relationship connection. And I thank my dad for taking me to those, maybe I asked for a few times, but that planted deep this understanding of very natural for me to go to business meetings because I've been watching ever since I was like 7-8 years old, right? And I try to help my girls to be more involved, but a lot of events I go is like more of my events, not events. A lot of my sessions I do is one-on-one private, and then I more space-wise will be required. But some events like the events I do publicly, I would have them there, try my best, because when I am on the stage, I won't be able to take care of them, and I do need another adult there to watch them because they're still so young. But I do feel that's very, very important to have our kids be involved in what we do, right? And the end of this episode, I kind of want to, is there anything that you want to say to the young generation or just be people in the Tri-City area? Because like we said, we are here to be in the service, right? And is there something that you want to share, like people in the area, because for what you be involved or minority business partnership, Chamber of Commerce, and this big project that been, I would say, like pregnant for two years now, right? Hopefully in the next couple months and things get started, which is create a beautiful impact in the community. At where you're at right now, are there something you want to share with the people in the Tri-City area, or either you say, hey, something you want to shout out?
Well, just kind of going back to what you were saying, like how your dad kind of took you to like business meetings and different things like that. My father also he kept me involved in different things that he did. I was used to going to the NAACP Freedom Fund banquet when I was young, and I started to take my kids to that also.
Yes.
And that's something that you guys should support and definitely go. And I grew up seeing a lot of minorities dressed up wearing suits and things like that. And you don't have a lot of that representation anymore in that minority community. And I try to be that representation. I try to dress up. I try to show up, and show that we can be just business oriented just as anyone else. And well,
let's do some of those events, because I'm if I can do the events in 5 weeks, if you give me 2 months, we can definitely put some, like, actually I have this idea. I saw it. Like, a lot of time I see things, but I don't know what's the timeline. Like, I see people dressed up, like, what was that? I think one of the events I went this February was Rotary.
Okay.
You dressed up, right? I had no idea. One of the sisters brought me there. I had no idea what events I was in and what's going on, but I had fun. But as minority business, I'm thinking, how can we bring people together is through those fun, more light events. It's like you when we talk to our kids, sometimes you don't want to talk serious stuff right away. You want to just like have them play, feel safe, feel comfortable, feel they are part of the thing, that you feel involved. And through those like fun events, maybe once a year we have this annual minority business connection, or the appreciation day or whatever, right? And we just encourage, because minority business also, we talk about the people with colors, whatever, different cultural thing. I could wear my Chinese qipao, which is our traditional clothes, and Mexican, Spanish, or however, that different cultural thing. We could actually literally just bring also cultural awareness, and also allow each other to show up the way they're supposed to be, instead of like, oh, you have to dress up Western way. What if they want to dress up their own way, whichever they're comfortable. But use those like cultural, music, food are less sensitive, because everybody, right, like different music, different food, different outfit, to acknowledge, to aware each other's uniqueness, that's basically back to unity through diversity.
Yeah.
Like everything we do, like people I invite on the podcast. I told people, if you think you are a CEO, you don't want, you saw that my other guests, maybe they are the janitor in the airport and you don't want to be on. I'm okay with that, because this is literally a platform that if I feel like that connection there are some light or connection, this gift, the talents they want to share, I don't mind to bring whoever, because this is the unity through diversity, right? So where does the voice come from? The voice comes from different area, different aspects of the people in our life, not just CEO, you made it, badass, cool, I'm happy for you, president, great, for you. But what if it's just full-time mom? They doing pretty badass job as well.
Yep.
What if a single father? What if some handicapped people that they are being serviced in the community?
Right.
They all represent an array in this rainbow, right? And that's the point of like have people included in minority business. I feel like we just don't talk about this enough, and how can we empower them and invite them?
Yeah. Well, it's an open invite, you know what I mean, at the table. We can sit down and we just discuss an event, how we can put something together to bring everyone together, and celebrate the diversity that we have here, and the different cultures and everything like that, and you've already put together an event of only being here a year and a half,
less.
That shows that anyone could do it. We've been living here.
It's possible, right?
Yeah. A lot of us been living here our whole lives and might not have known, that we can go and rent that park and do an event and different things like that. So information is powerful. It's key, because a lot of people might not know what they're capable of. So sometimes it just takes someone to do it first. So
like I said, I did not know what's really mean when I did that event. I saw it just like one little dream come true. That's why we're talking about. Like, you have no idea what the seed I planted, that we planted in the community, because with the support of Minor Business Partnership and the Bay Chamber of Commerce, that allow this event to expand to be a community event.
Yeah.
And then
an awesome event it was.
Well, thank you, because I'm still processing what really happened, and actually the photo all came back, and then I'm gonna post the picture with you, with Bree and Trey and all other people from the photographer. But I think the last thing I want to touch on is that it's possible, but a lot of people, they do not know it's possible. When I moved here, literally the first month I moved here, I walked around the like Rhinehart Park, and I saw the vision. That's why I say I saw it. I just don't know when, how anchored this energy is, because I saw it. And I was, would it be great to have event here? But at that time, I have no idea who to find, how, when, or what. And this year, again, when after know you guys and share this idea, we had a meeting at your office as well. And I was like, oh, actually, it's possible. When you think it's possible, boom, it just landed right away. I was like, I thought it would be so difficult. I mean, it's still I would say a challenging process because of the time, because I did not have the experience of putting such a big event together and utilize all parts of the resources. I could do better, and now, like after events, I realized that if I had a little bit more time or some details, I would add in this and that, even like marketing, whatever. But it's possible for anybody who want to do events. That's actually a shout out to the community, that if you are a minority business owner, right? If you are a small business owner, and if you want to do events in, downtown Bay City or Rhinehart Park, or have some community event, it's possible. Do not think your idea is crazy. Nothing is crazy. The crazy part is you have an idea and you don't do it. That's called crazy. Right? So if you have an idea, you have people to reach out. That's why exactly we do this podcast, because we might do not have this capacity to support, but we do know somebody probably going to connect with you. Just like when you had an idea, people connect you from one person to another person. And the resources connection is the key in our community. And if you have some even business idea, but you see it, but you do not know how to land it. Talk to people, may just share. I cannot help, but I probably know somebody could set you on the right path. And just my theory is learning by doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me this 10% is could do it, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Versus people need to be 90% sure, then they do it. Like I have totally different way. But like I say, if you feel like something, if you're a young generation, right? 17, 18, even 15, you're like, I have this thing. My parents tell me it's crazy, but is there any way, not gonna exactly land it as you want it, but it could start you from something, right? Yeah. Something or somewhere, maybe you get involved in certain organization so you can learn the skills or the knowledge you need for 3 years later for your whatever your vision you have. Or the minority business, right? I know that you might have concern and doubts how this organization or how this group of people could support you, but if you don't step out, you wouldn't even know.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You can be scared, you can do your own thing, nothing wrong with that. We all survive by this way. But what if there a bigger, more wild, this world is all there waiting for you?
Yeah.
Do you want to go explore? I cannot guarantee the whole experience is going to be positive or negative, but it's a journey. It's an experience that to know more people, to get more supported. You never know when you need the support.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm always looking for the value that I can provide to others, because I know that it's going to come back eventually.
Right? It's like the ripple effect.
Yeah.
You throw the little rock inside, and then you see that's like my event. I know from the feedback from the vendors, feedback from the people even come to my event from far away, and how they see this event and how I see this event is totally different. Because let's say I'm this rock dropping into the water. I was like, okay, bam, done. But the ripple effect is like still rippling out. People are still processing, and all the buys, these days, if I post those pictures out there, people will see different version of this event, a different version of me, and different understanding of what I'm trying to, what kind of message or energy sending into the other community. Sometimes I don't even know that actually I'm doing unconsciously, because you will not be able to think about 360, but you have good intentions and you just do it. But later it come back, right? So I'm waiting for that ripple effect, maybe years later, like, this crazy Asian girl did a crazy thing, but let me be the crazy one. So everybody give other people the permission to be wild, right? So if they see that crazy person, like the guy dance on the street, we saw that guy, he's already dressed in a very unique way and dance on the street. So when you just dancing fun, have fun, you will not feel that weird, because that's one person is...
Exactly. Like you say, you give somebody else permission, and that's my goal in doing what I'm doing, is to give others permission to, step out of their comfort zone, to try something new, to do something different, to learn and grow and develop, as much as they can.
Yes, that's beautiful. Let's just give ourselves permission to keep moving through life, keep expanding, right? Our consciousness, awareness, knowledge, wisdom, however you call it, or just keep expanding, keep allowing, give ourselves permission to dive into this adventure, different territory, instead of judge us. Like, doesn't matter how many hats we wear. It's just like the hats, literally you have hats right there.
Yeah.
It's just that we can put the hats down, then who is Ali, who is Gina? I don't know. I'm still exploring. Right?
Well, we've got this one life to live, and we want to try to do everything that we can. We don't want to leave nothing here. I want to be totally gassed out, burnt out, all ideas spent, everything,
Yeah, that's a good way to I think closing this episode. And if people in the area, they want to find you, basically they can just connecting with you on Facebook.
You can reach out to me on Facebook, Ali Smith. I got under my real name, so you can find me pretty easy,
Yeah, I was gonna put your social media handles in the underneath the podcast when I release this episode, so people can reach out to you, young people or minority business, or if you have some ideas, you just like his energy, just like, hey Ali, I don't know whether but here's my idea. Maybe you can connect with people, right? You have a lot of connections in the city, and we are here to support. We are here to really walk with you, to figure this thing out together as a community. But now I feel like it is just we are still in the position of keep moving through and give each other permission and give other people permission to shine their light.
Exactly.
To be weird, it's okay. We got you, right?
Yeah.
So yes, thank you everybody for tuning into this episode of Unity Through Diversity, and thank you, Ali, for this beautiful time here.
I appreciate you inviting me on, and it's always a pleasure.
Yes. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Unity Through Diversity. I will see you in next episode coming soon. Take care, and I love you.